This is the top 3 things that you need to know as a first-time home buyer. I'm with Isaac Holstein.
But are we going to do it at top 3? Because it's not necessarily top 3. It's like tips and tricks, things that you wouldn't normally do.
3 tips and tricks
There you go.
that you might not normally think of as a first-time home buyer with
Yes.
Isaac, Gateway Mortgage, local lender, Lynchburg, Virginia.
Yep.
And you can get a hold of me and I will get a hold of him. I will pass all the information on. I don't even care if you say I have a realtor. JD, I don't want to talk to you. I just want to talk to Isaac. That's all good. Tips and tricks, 3 of them for first-time home buyers. So if you are a first-time home buyer, if you know a first-time home buyer, or if you have already purchased a home, but you might be able to help out other first-time home buyers, stick around, watch the video, and at the end, you're going to have a little bonus tip for people that is definitely helpful.
Yes.
So yeah, hit them with number 1, Isaac.
Okay. Trigger leads. Trigger leads are the hot topic right now. But what happens, trigger leads are where the credit bureaus sell your consumer data information to a bunch of call center lenders.
I heard the new gold is data.
Does that make data the new gold? Huh.
Yeah.
It's all commercial.
Oh, yes.
All right.
So yeah, they'll sell the data, and then you just get spam calls for months and months and months. And honestly, the higher your credit score, the more desirable of a client you are, the worse it is. So it's really bad. I mean, within minutes of a credit pull on the last one earlier this week, she got a call, sent me a screenshot of, it was like American Mortgage or something like that. And they will call you relentlessly. But
So
there
is
is a
it-
way to stop it.
Is it other mortgage lenders?
Yes.
So they talk to you, you're doing their application, you're doing their pre-qual, and other lenders will call them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. As soon as they know that you're applying for a mortgage, they will start calling you nonstop until you tell them to stop calling, or you can take some proactive measures and get on the do not call list, and we'll send the link and all that. But it's the opt-out pre-screen is the website, but then there's the phone number for the do not call list registry.
Okay,
And,
so they can do it online or they
yes.
can call.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. And we're going to put that number on the screen or in the description of the video. Isaac will pass it along. I'll pass it along to you. That's number 1. One of the biggest things that first-time home buyers fear, I think, no matter what it is that you fear, it's stress, it's the unknown, it's you worry about things. So you don't want to have to worry about being bombarded by other people calling you that you don't want to call you.
And this is not an exaggeration, because it happened to me. And for the first few calls, I would be like, I work for a mortgage company. So it was really weird. And then it just got frustrating. This is not, again, not an exaggeration. It was probably 30 calls before 10 a.m. It's just nonstop. Your phone just goes and goes and goes until you have to start answering. You think if you just ignore it, or you tell them to leave you alone or whatever, that it'll stop.
Ignore the problem. It'll go away.
But you have to hard take me off your list.
Get on this proactive step. All right, that's number 1. Before we get to number 2, you know who I am. I'm JD Miller with eXp Realty, and my number is on the screen here. Call me, text me, email me. Again, if you want to get in contact with Isaac, if you're already set up with a realtor, but you haven't done the loan stuff yet, or you have loan questions, we will get you connected with Isaac ASAP. You can do that. And please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Comment if you went through this process before. Let us know what it's like. If you've done any of the things we're going to talk about in step 2 and 3, or the bonus, let us know what it was like for you. And now number 2, Isaac.
I learned it was in my second year, and this kid, I had already bought my house, so that's what makes it a little bit frustrating. But this kid called me, he was 21, 22. He was getting a gift from his grandfather to buy his first home, but he had the foresight to buy a multi-unit as his first home. This is where I always tell people to stop thinking about buying a house so romantically. Stop. It doesn't have to be the perfect white picket fence, just picturesque first home. You can think of it as sheerly of investment opportunity. This kid, 22 years old, buys a 4-unit that was fully occupied. We had to wait until the lease of the 1 unit was ending before we could close the loan, because you have to occupy it as your primary residence.
Right.
But in essence, one of those units almost covered the mortgage at the time, because rates were probably 3.5%, 4%.
Yeah.
So the one unit covered the mortgage for for all four. So you're making money on the other two just as
cash flow. And you can do 1, 2, 3, up to 4 units with a residential primary occupancy. You as the buyer occupy one, and then you rent out the other ones.
And that was on an FHA loan, which was the go-to if you wanted to buy a multi-unit. But now conventional allows you to go to 4 units.
Nice.
At a 5% down payment.
Nice. So. There are differences between FHA and conventional requirements as far as the buildings, what it's like. That's not this video, maybe another video. But one of the things Isaac said, you know this instinctually if you don't already know it, but people make decisions emotionally and then they follow it up with logical confirmation. So right now, if you're a first-time watcher, this will happen to you. If you're a 100th time watcher, you're like, holy cow, I really like JD. I dig this dude. It may not make any logical sense. You don't know. Like, you don't know how good I am. But you'll find out. But that's what people do. So what he said was, you're not buying your forever home the first time, okay? Rates are high. Rates are at like 18% right now, right? No, what are they at? What are they at? 7.5. And I can throw up a graphic here of what they have been historically. Regardless, maybe you can't buy the home you want to buy right now, but if you can get something, and not everyone can, but if you can get something, and we'll talk about the bonus of what can help you get something. If you can get something now. And then 2 years later, 3 years later, you can move up. You can keep it in your portfolio. You can do a bunch of things.
That's actually a perfect segue to the next point. I don't know if
point
you did
3
that on purpose, but that was perfect.
Do everything on purpose. Yes. Point 3.
So he was saying, what if you can't buy the perfect home that you want right now? My niche thing that I've been pounding out for years of just like, this is what I think people need to really at least consider are renovation loans, because you can, in a tough market or maybe a stale market where there's not enough inventory popping up every day, day over day or week over week. What's the saying? The worst house in the best neighborhood. That house has been sitting for 3-4 months, and it just needs work. A lot of people don't know that renovation loans exist. I feel like a lot of lenders don't know enough about it, and that's how I got into it out of need. But when I knew the product existed, I didn't really investigate much because I was like, that looks like a lot of paperwork, a lot of extra steps just to buy the house. But it is not. It's honestly, I think 3 or 4 additional sheets of paper in your disclosure packet. The hardest part, and this is what I tell everybody, the hardest part is just getting a contractor.
That is a difficult part. Finding someone. They need someone. The lender needs a contractor to go out and look at the place and sign off on it and say, yeah, these numbers look good. This is what it's gonna take to get up to whatever standard that they want, you want. We're talking about reno loans, okay? And the good part for you as a buyer using a reno loan is that those homes that need TLC, right? You have shrinking. I feel like Dwight shrinked. I feel like Dwight Schrute again. You have decreased the buyer pool, right? There are less people looking for those homes, so competition is lower. If it's something that you can do, and you can get that contractor, right, to do. Wait, okay. So does a contractor have to do the work? What if I'm skilled? Can I do it?
There is a new product that we have that does allow, but you do have to show a pretty good amount of handyman
experience.
Yeah, we have to see some pictures and some maybe past jobs or things like that. Ideally, just to make it simple, be a general contractor. 100% you can do your own.
Okay.
If you're just a pretty good YouTube handyman guy, I don't know that'll do it, but we'll entertain anything. We just have to look at it. So
we'll figure it out. All right. So here's where we are. Recap. If you want to look thin and tall, don't do anything with Isaac.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, wait.
I look short and chubby. Isaac's tall and thin. Then we talked about trigger and opt out. We talked about multifamily. We talked about reno loans. A really good possibility to get into something that maybe a lot of people aren't trying to get into. And don't forget, like, comment, subscribe. The number's up here again. Call me. I'll get you connected with Isaac. and it's time for your bonus. Give us the big bonus.
So the bonus material is the Experian Boost. I don't know if you've seen it. It's on TV occasionally. You'll see the ads. But Experian Boost, everyone can benefit from it. You don't have to be a struggling credit building. Legitimately, anyone can benefit and just boost their scores. So all you do, you go to the site. It's experianboost.com, and then you set up to report utilities, cell phone bills. I think, funny enough, the most recent one that I saw that just kind of caught my eye was Disney Plus. So if it's a set recurring monthly payment on auto draft, and obviously if they report to Experian Boost or Experian, it will show. And the most impressive, and I'm not saying this is going to happen for everyone, but the most impressive one that I had was a client that was not good credit wise, probably 580, I think is what her score was.
What was her name?
I'm just kidding. So I think it was about a 580 credit score, jumped on Experian Boost, and this is early on, where I think 3 or 4 months later, it was a 98-point jump. That was the most dramatic. Like, again, you'll generally see a 20, 30-point jump pretty quickly.
Okay.
But that one just like...
Why do you care? You may not know this. If you're a first-time home buyer watching this, your credit score has to be at a certain number to qualify for any loan. And then the higher your score is, maybe the lower the interest rate you can get, that kind of thing.
Better, yes. So, I mean, we start at 580 with FHA. That's the lowest we can go. 620 is kind of the rule of thumb for us. 640, things start to get a little bit sweeter. And then there's kind of just the wishy-washy area where you really got to do apples to apples of the 2 or 3 or 4 realistic loan options. Because sometimes, 700, 720 score conventional isn't going to make as much sense as maybe FHA, just because, and everybody's like, well, it has mortgage insurance forever.
Right.
For the people that know enough anyway. FHA has mortgage insurance for the life of the loan, but maybe it has a 6.5% rate versus 7.25% on conventional because of the pricing. And that's where you just have to talk to your lender and look at the options. I know just from looking at it, 2 or 3 are going to be the most viable, and then 1 or 2 make the most sense, and then we hammer those out with the borrower and see which one.
Yeah, just run the numbers and see what you're comfortable with. Some people might say, look, I want this product. I don't care if the payment's a little higher. I want it for this reason or that reason. Something to really hopefully take away from, hopefully you are still here watching this, because if you're a first-time home buyer or about to be, don't wait to talk to a lender, okay?
No.
Talk to Isaac. Again, let's get connected, because if you're thinking about buying in a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, even sometime in the next 12 months, find out what your credit score is, talk to Isaac, and figure out, hey, what happens if I can boost that a little bit? Your numbers could look exponentially better.
Yes.
That's money in your pocket. This video is money